It's a play-in game. It is a play-in game for Boise State and UNLV. UNLV, what a job by Barry Odom. His name is going to keep popping up in coaching circles, folks. It just is. Doesn't matter what's happened in the past. What have you done for me lately? Taken UNLV and not just brought them back to what they were, because I don't know that there really was a time where they were something, at least not that I can remember. He's just made them into something relevant. Back-to-back appearances in the Mountain West Championship game. UNLV and my guy Ricky White, who was on the show earlier a couple weeks ago, which was awesome. They're getting another crack at Boise State. And I'll have my pick later at the end of the segment, but I want to give you 3 pivot points. Spencer, what's pivot point? I'm so glad you asked. You didn't, but you're going to get to hear about it anyway. A pivot point is different from a key to the game. A key to the game applies to a specific team. You've got to do this with it. You got to get this guy going. You got to stop the other team. Pivot points are things that can go either way. They can flip in this direction or they could pivot in that direction. And here are 3 pivot points that are going to define this game. Number 1. Well, this is going to be Ashton Jeanty, right? Nope, it's absolutely not. It's going to be which quarterback has a higher completion percentage. So, Malik Williams, who has taken over and been fantastic in the loss to Boise State, was 12 of 21 throwing the football. Also had an interception late in the first half that proved incredibly costly. In the other loss he's had as UNLV's starter, it was against Syracuse. He was 21 of 25. But this is, again, Boise State. And UNLV still could have, dare I say, should have, won that football game against who we know is a good Syracuse team ranked inside the top 25. But Malik Williams this year is completing 64% of his passes. Flip over to the Boise State angle, and Maddux Madsen, who won the job in spring or fall camp from Malachi Nelson, the former 5-star USC recruit. Look, he's not anything special at the quarterback spot, but he's incredibly solid. He's incredibly capable. And when the Boise State offense is humming, Dirk Cutter loves to use play action. He's very clever, very creative, pro-style concepts, and Madsen is a high-level executor. 61%. That's his completion percentage this year. Against Oregon, he completed 50% of his passes. They lost that game by 3. Against Wyoming, a game they struggled to win, he was 14 of 26. Against Nevada, another game Boise State struggled to win, he was 9 of 20. So when he is not able to complete passes in an efficient way, Boise State does not play its best football. You think about Ashton Jeanty and say, well, he's the key. He's what makes it go. He's where the offense starts. He's not the end point, per se. He's not an entire dish. I love food analogies because they're delicious. Ashton Jeanty is the steak. But what else is on that plate? Mashed potatoes, vegetables, and preferably a béarnaise sauce. I'm a big béarnaise sort of guy. Well, Jeanty can't make up all those other components, but Maddux Madsen makes up several. Drop back passing game, play action passing game. And then you got to be solid in other areas, obviously, as well. Cross your T's, dot your I's, and such. So whichever quarterback has the higher completion percentage in this game, if you told me that right now, I'd say that team probably wins. That team probably wins. There's going to be plenty of attention paid to the running ability of Malik Williams or of Ashton Jeanty in this game, which I'm about to talk about. But first things first, whichever quarterback is more efficient, I think goes on to win the football game and goes to the college football playoff and maybe even gets a bye. I don't think UNLV would jump up and get the bye over the Big 12 champion. Boise State clearly would. You think of that, whatever you like. Pivot point number 2 is the running game factor. Can UNLV replicate what it did in the first matchup in Las Vegas many moons ago? It was a great game, highly competitive, 29-24 final. Boise State gets the win. Ashton Jeanty, 33 carries, 128 yards, under 4 yards a carry, a long run of 16. That's not the Ashton Jeanty who has propelled himself into the Heisman Trophy discussion, only to finish second, of course, to Travis Hunter because he's, really, really good and such. I'd vote for Jeanty, but I understand why Travis Hunter's going to win the award. I don't think it's outlandish. I just think it's a matter of disagreement and preference and such, but I digress. UNLV was bottling up Ashton Jeanty, got loose a little bit as the game went on, but that's not the efficient day that Boise State has relied on to carry an explosive offense. No runs over 20 yards, under 4 yards a carry. If you do that, UNLV has a great chance. But if that gets pivoted back in Boise State's direction, then suddenly the Broncos are an even more dangerous offense. And the passing attack is even more lethal because, like I said, Dirk Cutter, the offense coordinator, really good with play action. Really, really good. He runs a lot of NFL concepts. He always seems to have the tight end wide open whenever they need him to. So that's pivot point number 2. Pivot point number 3. In a game, the Boise State is favored by around a field goal, according to our friends at FanDuel. I expect to be close and competitive because last time they played, it was close. It was competitive. It came down to a couple situations. I almost went turnovers here. I have a sneaky suspicion. That special teams are going to loom large, that there is going to be a play. It could be a block kick. It could be a return. It could be a long field goal. Something is going to swing the special teams momentum or the overall grade in the game towards one team or the other. And that is pivot point number 3. Which quarterback has the higher completion percentage? Can UNLV replicate its Ashton Jeanty defensive performance in the way that they bottled him up more than most others have been able to so far? And who wins the special teams battle? Who can make that one play? It might be kicking. It might be in the return. Heck, it could be a punt that allows your defense to get the ball back because you had them pinned down and they just had to hand it off a couple times. It could be anything like that. So, the moment you've all been waiting for, of course, my game prediction here. Look, UNLV is a good football team, a really good football team. I think conference championship weekend as a whole is going to be outstanding. Every single point spread is under a touchdown. I think every point spread is under 5. That means Vegas expects a lot of tight competitive games. The stakes in this one are massive. A group of 5 team has made the playoff but one time. That was Cincinnati many moons ago with Luke Fickell. They went undefeated. They'd beaten Notre Dame earlier in the season. But whoever wins this game, make no mistake about it, they will not get challenged by the American Conference champ. That will not take place. Army could beat Tulane. Tulane is not ranked, so it does not matter. They will not climb up. They will not be a high enough ranked conference champion. This is a play-in game. Big stakes here. And for Spencer Danielson, who a year ago at this time was just learning. Actually, hold on. Boise State fans, you correct me if I'm wrong. A year ago at this time, Spencer Danielson hadn't even been named the head coach yet. He was the interim head coach. He was interviewing for the job. I think it's going pretty darn well. And I think it will continue to do so here. I don't think UNLV, as impressive as they were at home against Ashton Jeanty, I don't think they can keep him under 4 yards of carry again. I think Jeanty goes for 150 plus, maybe a couple touchdowns. This is a fun, competitive, high-scoring football game, 36-31. I'll take Boise State to win. I'll take Boise State to cover as well. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. And until then, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.